Welcome to today's video. In this video, we are in Gladden Farms in Marana, Arizona. And it's gonna be an exciting one because today I'm taking you on a tour of Gladden Farms, specifically a community called Parkside, which is by Richmond American homes. We're gonna take a look at 3 different floor plans. We're gonna talk through what functionality those floor plans have designed into them. We're gonna talk about incentives. We're gonna talk about one thing that Richmond American does different than all builders that I think is the closest thing to a guarantee that you're gonna get to maximizing resale value. So stay tuned, you're definitely not gonna wanna miss that. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Rich and my family's lived here for over 150 years. If you want to learn everything there is to know from a local's perspective about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Tucson and the surrounding areas like Marana, where we're at today, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've worked over the last 15 years as both a certified real estate appraiser and realtor right here in Southern Arizona. And in that time, I've helped a couple thousand people just like you buy or sell a home. So whether you're looking today, whether you're looking a year from today, let's get connected. You can call, text, email, or even schedule a Zoom consult right from the information in the description. It's got a direct link to my calendar. Grab that, let's get connected, and we'll go from there. Now, I am standing at a park, one of many parks, by the way, that is all throughout Gladden Farms. This one in particular is called Paws and Claws because, well, if you're an animal person, you probably recognize where I'm at. We have 2 different gated, enclosed dog areas. If you like dogs, if you're a dog person like myself, then this community has you covered. But this is only one of almost 30 different parks, from pocket parks to big parks to splash pads to dog parks. I mean, there's a birthday going on behind me over here. They got the Kona ice truck. Looks like they got some tacos. They've got a jumping castle, a bunch of chairs set up. This is a very typical Friday here in Gladden Farms. And if you're looking for that really strong community feel, whether you've got little ones, whether you're retiree, empty nester, you know, whatever season of life you are in, there is so much to explore in Gladden Farms that accommodates a wide range of people in different seasons of life. So let's chat a little bit more about it. I've got some notes because this place has so much to offer. Let me talk a little bit further about it. So Gladden Farms is in Marana, and Marana is northwest of Tucson. Now, Marana, specifically Gladden Farms, really has a big draw because of its convenience. It's conveniently located right off of Interstate 10, which is one of the main corridors running east to west through Tucson. So whether you're traveling across town, whether you're traveling and commuting up to Phoenix, Casa Grande, there are several different areas that people commute to, but because Gladden Farms is located right off of I-10, it is a prime choice for so many families. Thousands and thousands of families in Gladden appreciate the fact that it is so convenient. Now, as of recently, they just finished their very first grocery store here in Gladden Farms, which is a big deal. Gas station, grocery store, they got their Fry's food and drug store, which is within the Gladden Farms community. Prior to that, it was about an 8 to 10 minute drive to the nearest grocery store, but now it's less than 5. Now, as far as the parks go, like I said, this is one of many parks. Over 100 acres of parks. You heard that right, 100 acres of parks. Most communities aren't even that big. This is one of the largest master plan communities in southern Arizona. It's got splash pads, sports courts, 27 playgrounds, and 8+ miles of paved, dedicated trails for hiking, biking, walking, you name it. There's weekly farmers markets that go on here. There's food trucks. Prime example is this. This is just a random Friday. And this sort of stuff in this community happens all the time. So I really want to emphasize, if you're looking for a strong community feel, it's really hard to find anything that really competes with Gladden Farms. Now, the area is serviced by the Marana School District. Highly regarded, many of their schools are highly regarded. Do your research on school districts because everybody's preference is a little bit different. Lots of different websites to do that as well. And if you have any questions about sites on where to find this information, drop a comment and I'm happy to respond with some easy resources. So a little bit more about the builder, but first I just wanted to point out, if you haven't noticed, I'm standing on a patch of grass that is shaped like a big dog bone. I mean, come on, if you're a dog person, that's pretty cute. That's pretty cute right there. So the builder we're gonna feature today, Richmond American Homes, one of my favorite builders. I've worked with them a very long time at all different communities, including Gladden Farms. But Richmond offers ranch style single story and 2-story floor plans that range from approximately 1,800 square feet all the way up above 2,600 square feet. They've got 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bathrooms, and 2 and 3 car garages, which is a big bonus if you need extra storage space. Now, home prices typically range in the high 300s all the way up to the $500,000 range. That's pretty typical for Gladden Farms as a whole. And as of a couple years ago, I'm going to talk about in this video, Richmond has made a pivot from the way they used to do business here in Tucson, just in terms of the way they produce their homes. Overall, it's been a very positive thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that because it is interesting. But right now they're building nothing but spec homes, and a spec home is essentially the builder picks all the specifications of the home, from the lot to the floor plan to the finishes. Now, they did that very strategically, and I'll share more about that in this video, but they have only about 9 different specs left at Parkside, the community that we're going to tour very, very soon. But after that, they have another community opening up. So if you want some insider details on that community, drop me a DM or drop me a comment below, and I'd be happy to share those details with you. So next, we're going to hop in the truck and we're going to drive over to Parkside, the community that we're going to be touring today, so we can take a look at the models. And as I'm walking over there, I just wanted to share with you that Richmond American, much like most builders, they cater to a specific buyer. And we're gonna dive into exactly what that buyer mindset is, because Richmond does some unique things and they offer some very unique value. And when you watch this video all the way through, you're gonna have a really good idea on whether Richmond's the right builder for you. So stay tuned. Hey, so I'm actually here with Hattie, who works at Richmond American. If you come to this location in Gladden Farms, she's one of the amazing representatives of the builder that's going to be answering questions and be a smiling face when you walk in. So I figured I'd grab a couple minutes from you, Hattie, and ask you a couple questions. So
sure.
You've worked at Richmond American for a couple years. Mm-hmm. You're pretty familiar with them. What are some of your favorite things from your perspective of Richmond American?
Well, I really do actually have a lot of things I love about Richmond Homes. I mean, I live in one, so I absolutely love the house.
That helps.
But, you know, we do a lot of things that not everybody does. We do 8-foot doors and 9-foot ceilings in every single house.
Yeah.
We do the center meat sliders in every single house except for a couple of them at Red Rock. Tile floors, the wood look tile throughout the entire home. You know, 42-inch cabinets, and it all sounds like I'm feature kind of blasting, but the thing is that when you kind of combine all these tasteful things that they put in there,
yeah,
it gives an overall sort of luxury feel. that's what I feel when I walk into a Richmond home.
For sure. And because you own one, I love that, because that means, and I didn't know that you had owned one until you just, well, I guess we talked about it earlier,
A little bit,
but it's
yeah.
good that at least the audience knows now. But it speaks to, you know, you're an experienced real estate person. You've been in the business since 1999,
Yes.
you said. So a very long time, an expert in real estate right here. And for you to put your trust in Richmond, that says a lot, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's like, you know, if somebody who has bought and sold and helped a lot of people buy real estate personally makes the decision to buy Richmond, you probably are the best testament to them. And
Yes, that's awesome. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm just pointing out, like, from my own mindset, if I was someone who wasn't as familiar with different builders and I was trying to get the lay of the land, it's like if you go to a car dealership and you ask somebody, the car representative, and you ask them, car salesperson, you're like, what do you drive? And they don't drive what they're selling. It's like, okay, why not, right? So another question for you, working in Gladden Farms, what do you find buyers like most about Gladden Farms?
I feel like this is kind of, from what everybody tells me, they say that they feel this is an up and coming area.
Yeah.
It's growing. There's tons of families here, but they're all different types of people, just amazing array of different kinds of people, but a lot of families, school, K-8, right down the street. And then I am actually really excited about the new aquatic center and the rec center, which is going into the town of Marana.
That's
and
right.
They just had a grand opening on May 5th. And it's very, very nice.
That's right. So actually my wife and I got a sneak peek of that because we were really excited about that as well. We're going to be relocating to Marana later in the year. And that aquatic center looks really state of the art, big pool, splash pad. It's got a gym. It's got really everything.
Probably 7 minutes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So we'll continue to talk about that and give you some more details in other videos as well. But if you have more questions, feel free to drop a comment with any questions about the aquatic center. I'll tag the website and answer any questions that I can. Is there anything that you want to mention about Richmond or Gladden Farms that you think is important for people to consider?
I mean, I think it's always good to consider that Richmond typically almost always has a really good financing incentive, which really helps for affordability on your house payments for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And without spoiling anything, we're going to talk about incentives later in the video. Hattie's hinting at it, but typically Richmond is going to include a lot more features in their home and upgrades in their home than a lot of the competing builders in a particular area like Gladden Farms. And the way that they make that still feel apples to apples is, like you said, they have a financing incentive. So we'll talk about that. We'll do a comparison, and thank you for mentioning that.
Sure.
Cool. Thanks, Hattie. Well, say thank you to Hattie, and
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll see her if you have an opportunity to come into the office.
Yes, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, guys, come with me. Behind me is the Sapphire floor plan by Richmond American. This house is 2,040 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom. Let's go inside and take a peek. I personally love this floor plan for 2,000 square feet. It has some features within this house that I think at 2,000 square feet are super rare. So let's jump inside and I'll show you what those features are. So welcome into the Sapphire floor plan. You have a split bedroom floor plan, so you actually have a couple bedrooms here at the front, including a bathroom. And I'm gonna take you into the common area of the house first. There's a whole bunch of exciting stuff on this side of the house that I'll show you, and we're gonna get into that. Again, this house is 2,040 square feet. So for a house this size, to have some of the features and that this floor plan has is super rare. For instance, there is several floor plans in Dove Mountain that I can think of that I personally really like. And they have similar floor plan. They have a similar floor plan layout, but they're 2,700, 2,600, 3,000 square feet. This is 2,000 square feet, and it feels just as functional. This common area, kitchen, dining room, living room, all being located in this great big room is a big part of that. Everything is laid out nicely. You've got a 6-person table here that fits very easily. Plenty of space. Even if there was people sat here, you'd be able to navigate that way. You know, having people come this way if you were entertaining. So just wanted to give you guys a first-hand look at the functionality of this Sapphire floor plan. Kitchen is well appointed, stainless steel appliances, you know, quartz countertops. You got the white cabinets, big island with 4 seats. This central hallway is nice. Personally, I like being able to have that view from when you first walk in, the door to the back door. I've met people who aren't as fond of that. I've even met people who culturally that's a bad thing. But it's rare. I think in general, this is pretty common that you'll have front door leading directly to the view in the back door. And just take a peek at this real quick. So I was sitting at the kitchen island firming up some things, and it's really not showing on camera, but you actually have a pretty cool view in between these houses of Twin Peaks. So it's hard to get a bad view in southern Arizona, with at least in the Tucson area, because we have so many mountains around us. So let's take a peek. Do we want to go to the guest wing of the house, which is all here, or do we want to start at the primary suite? Let's start here since we're already over here. So you have this off of the primary, entering the primary, you have this whole like stop and drop little cove. You do have your washer and dryer, laundry room here. Adequate size, nothing huge, but again, mind you, 2,040 square feet. And when we get to the guest room area, you're gonna see why this floor plan is so cool. So stay tuned for that. You got space for cabinets here, little stop and drop, a little bit more organization, more storage. Nobody's complaining about more storage. So here's a look at the primary owner's suite. And actually there's a feature in this area of the house that I think is unique, that I really love as well. And I'll lead into that right now. So this is a walk-in closet. Decent size. I mean, pretty good size. Pretty good size walk-in closet. You do have your ensuite bathroom here. Dual vanities. Nice shower with a glass door. And then, oh, what's this? His and hers closet. And they're approximately the same size. Absolutely. His and her closet. So they're about the same size. And the cool thing is that you combine that. That's the size typically of a closet that you'd see in a house that's 600 to 800 square feet larger. They're separate. And for 2,000, about 2,000 square feet, that's not something that you see too often, especially considering everything else that we're going to see at the guest wing of this house. So let's take a peek this way. See what's in here. Any guesses? Oh, I probably faked you out. That's just a closet. Just a closet in there. But you do have 8-foot doors throughout the house. Something to note. Of course, we gotta do a ceiling height check. We're at 9 feet. It's funny, I actually met somebody from YouTube. Was it yesterday? It's hard to keep track. I think it was yesterday. And he asked me as a joke to, we were looking at some new townhouses downtown, and he asked me to go ahead and put the official measurement on it. So we did that on the ceiling height. The ceiling height in the living area was about 16 feet. So I wasn't really able to touch the top there, but it was kind of funny. All right, guys, so check this out. This is a teen area, study, den, office, could be a second living room. The possibilities are endless. Nowadays, with I think the way people utilize floor plans, and personally for me, the way that I suggest buyers think of their floor plan and the house that they're gonna buy is not just what's gonna happen in the next 2 to 5 years, but really work in accommodating what potentially is gonna happen or what's likely to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. With kids, with with siblings moving in and out, with kids going off to school or coming back home from school. We've got in-laws, we've got situations where we've got aging parents. We all have these kind of common things in our life. And I think functionality of floor plan is really, really critical to consider, not just at the time you're looking to buy it in the short term, but also in the long term. Because ultimately that's going to help you keep the house longer. And the rule in real estate is the longer you can keep the house, the much higher likelihood that you're going to have maximum appreciation when you do sell. And that's what I'm all about. I want to help people do that. Capture as much of that appreciation as possible when they buy a home with us. So here's a look at the guest bathroom. So something that I'm going to continue to talk about is Richmond American has been a builder that I've worked with for quite some time. Here's brushed gold finish. Side note, what do you think of those? It's not the classic like over the top gold, like in your face bright gold. It's just really it's kind of a matte finish. It's subtle, but it's classy. And I like these. I see them more and more. This is almost that kind of yellow gold. This almost doesn't match. This is a different tone. I don't know if it's captured well on the video or not, but anyway, what I was saying is that Richmond American has really hung its hat on providing as much value and upgrades as possible while still remaining as competitive as possible with production builder standards in terms of how quickly the house can be built and the price it can be afforded at. And we will talk more about that in this video. And if you have specific questions about Richmond American Homes or any other builder, drop them in the comments. I've worked in the builder community both as a real estate appraiser and a real estate agent for over 15 years. And so I know quite a bit. I've seen them at all different phases of construction, including during COVID, where a lot of problems with builders was exposed, from building to logistics to supplies to, overbuilding, you name it. There were a lot of issues that builders experienced, including quality control. So if you have curiosity about how that all went, and specific builders that I've had the best experiences with and people that have bought new builds have the best experiences with, feel free to get connected with me. All my contact information is easy to find in the description. I'm happy to share my honest insights. So here's a look at 2 additional bedrooms. So I've been talking as we're walking through this, but we've got 2 bedrooms, the one I'm standing in and that one. We've got a bathroom here, right? So that's one wing of the house. Then we have a guest wing. So if you have, say, a teenager, if you've got somebody, let's say you have a baby, so you got teenagers and teenagers are gonna be over here, or maybe older children, and then you've got a baby, want them maybe a little bit quieter so they're not gonna be as bothered, could potentially put them there. If you've got multi-generational and you have somebody that needs their own space, maybe even their own living room, their own bathroom. This is a perfect suite to keep them all under one roof, keep them where you can have eyes on them and care for them, make sure that they're safe, while also accommodating the other people in the house and yourself. So let me know. So this is the Sapphire floor plan. We're gonna take a look at 2 more, so stay tuned because we've got some really cool stuff to take a look at in the other floor plans. And also, we're going to talk about incentives, and we're going to be talking about one thing that makes Richmond American unique that will almost guarantee your resale value is going to be better than with most builders. So don't miss that. We're going to jump into it. Let's continue this video and get into some different models next door. So as we walk over to the next floor plan, I just wanted to point out where we're at. So we're northwest Tucson, but check out these views. Those are the Tortolito Mountains. You have the Santa Catalina Mountains you can see right here. And then on the other side of this house, actually the mountains that I showed you, the Twin Peaks area, got like Tucson Mountains out that area, but 5 different mountain ranges we are surrounded by in Tucson, which after meeting a lot of you that are watching these videos from all over the place, I know one of the main reasons why people consider Tucson and some of the surrounding areas of Tucson is the outdoor lifestyle. Tons of hiking, camping, biking, running past, cycling is huge. If you're a cyclist, this is a cyclist's dream. And just right here in Gladden Farms, you've got miles and miles. There's like 8 to 10 miles of paved, dedicated walking, biking paths. And so if you like outdoors, don't worry. It's not always hot. It is like the first day of, it feels like triple digits, but we've had an incredible spring. It has been so nice. I mean, it's middle of May, and we've squeezed as much beautiful weather out of this year as I've seen in a long time. So 8 months of incredible weather, got a couple months of pretty hot weather, but doesn't mean that you have to stay tucked indoors. There's still a lot of stuff you can do and a lot of points of interest you can check out without sweating. All right, welcome in to the copper floor plan, 1,910 square feet. This is another one of their single story floor plans. Just to get oriented off of the front door, we do have a wing of bedrooms here. So similar to the Sapphire that we just toured, got a bedroom here, bathroom. I like the way they oriented that tile. You don't see that too often. That's pretty cool. And then another bedroom here. For reference, we're talking full-size bed here. Easily you could fit a queen. So good sized bedrooms. Good sized bedrooms. Got your little bypass door, closet there. 8-foot doors, little touch, but I love that they have a little window here. Just anytime there's a hallway with a window, I appreciate that because hallways are not the sexiest parts of homes, and they are necessary for most homes, unless you're talking like an ultra luxury that doesn't have hallways or very limited hallways. But having a window can just kind of break up that hallway a little bit, make it feel a little nicer. Let me know if you agree. Maybe that's just me. But check out this. So this is a big space right here. Staged as an office, but again, this could be an arts and crafts area, could be a den, study, workout area, could be a dining room, like a more formal dining room if you're really into entertaining. Secondary living area. Let's take a peek in here. Closet. Yeah, coat closet there. Little stop and drop off of the garage. And then we have our laundry room in here. I actually like these cabinets. So No door pulls on that one, but I don't know if it's coming through. It's kind of like a grayish black look. Let's go over here and take a peek. So you got this stop and drop off of the garage. Ooh, look at that kitchen. I mean, I'm a fan of that. Dark cabinets aren't really my go-to, but I'm a fan of this. I really like this. Black holes, black handle pulls there. With the white, it just pops. I think everything complements nicely. Now, I'll share with you that my wife and I have recently decided to buy a production built house. First time we've done that. The house we're in now is a custom house we built in 2021, and we've gone through the whole custom building process, which is awesome and also a lot. It's a test for your relationship. In our relationship, it was in the very early stages. We didn't have kids yet, which is a very important thing to note, but it was a lot. It was a lot of decisions. A lot of working really hard to find common ground, a lot of exercising patience to be able to ensure that we're communicating. And so I'm sure you probably get the picture, but the reason we decided to go production build this time versus a custom again is for ease and simplicity. To be completely transparent with you, we chose a production builder like Richmond because they've got everything spelled out for you. The decisions, you get a beautifully designed house with a fraction of the amount of decisions and headache and timeline that typically a custom home will take. And so I'm sharing that with you because I like this kitchen a lot, and I know that my wife would not as much. And the style that we're actually going for is more of that like white oak, black finishes, or black door pulls. We're probably going with like a darker oak type of cabinetry and white walls, black fixtures. So I've seen that in some homes that I've toured that I really liked. She likes it as well. Lots of inspo from the internet as well, but I do like this kitchen. Let me know if you had a kitchen, what's the style you'd go for? From flooring to cabinets to check out this pantry. Boom. I mean, that's bigger than most walk-in closets, to be honest with you. If you like to cook, or if you have a big family, let's put it that way, either or, this is the spot. This is a great floor plan, the copper floor plan. Great little living room here, tucked away. Dining room, you've got these center meet sliding doors, which you're not gonna see very often at all on competing builders at a similar price point, especially if it's not Richmond. Richmond tends to put a lot more upgrades in their house because that's kind of their claim to fame. Prior to the business model that they're now operating in Tucson, Richmond exclusively built design center only, meaning you pick the lot, you pick the floor plan, you go to design center and design it all. And about 2 years ago, they switched to spec homes only, which essentially means the builder picks the lot, which floor plan is going to go on it, and then picks the designs and specifications, which is why they call it a spec home, for the interior. Next, let's head into the primary suite and take a look at what we've got in here. So you've got, an extra screw if you're missing one. There you go, Gladden Farms, Richmond American. No, just kidding. Looks like the construction guys probably missed that. I'll grab it so some little one doesn't grab it. But we've got the primary bedroom here. King size bed, of course. I love that they've got windows on either sides of the bed. There's actually a lot of natural light in here, which I'm a fan of. Got a cool view out the windows. You can't really see it, but you got a big mountain peak at the top through the houses there. You can kind of see it. 9-foot ceilings, once again, 8-foot opening, 9-foot ceilings. Got a nice shower, tiles around there, dual vanities, and walk-in closet. Got the water closet. I mean, seriously, I think that pantry is bigger than this walk-in closet. No joke. Like, I think it is. So that's good perspective. This house is for someone who has less clothes and more food, or more people to feed. Let's put it that way. That is definitely who this house caters to. Yeah, very cool, very cool. 8-foot doors throughout, which Hattie mentioned. 9-foot ceilings, which I think are really the standard. I think standard to have 9-foot. And we've got doorway, the entry door there. So we've got another floor plan we're gonna go tour. I'm gonna share some more information, and stay tuned because we're gonna talk about incentives. We're gonna talk about Richmond, the thing that Richmond American does that I personally think will guarantee you get a higher resale value than a lot of competing builders. So we're gonna talk about that, so stay tuned for that. So as we're taking a walk to the next floor plan, the next one up is one of their 2-story floor plans. And I was just thinking that in today's market, actually in any market, let's be honest, I think people are looking for value. When people call us and they're looking to buy a home, whether it's a resale home or a new build, nobody wants to pay more than they have to. Everybody's looking for the best deal. And I totally appreciate that, because I'm the same way. When I buy a piece of real estate, I want to feel like I'm getting value. I want to feel like I'm getting a deal. I want to feel like I've considered all the options and I'm getting something that is ideally worth more than what I'm paying for. And so one thing that I was thinking that I wanted to mention is that in today's market, I think the biggest opportunities from a buyer's perspective are actually in new construction, new builds, like this house behind me, and these houses that we've toured today. Because at least from my experience, the builders, because they have so much money invested in these subdivisions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions in some cases, they also have the pockets to be able to offer the biggest incentives to move the inventory. And if you hire the right agent, somebody who has the relationships with the builders and has the know-how and the experience to negotiate that, like myself, we're securing some insane deals for our buyers. I can tell you about a buyer that we just put in a contract in Dove Mountain. We've saved them over $80,000 on the house. So if you're curious about what incentives have recently been negotiated at this community or other ones, you're not gonna be able to find this on Google. The builder's sales agents are not gonna tell you this. This is something that is exclusive to the agent who has negotiated them, and that's us and our team. So reach out, grab my contact information, and have a discussion, because in terms of what you're considering buying, what can be negotiated should be factored in as well, and you're not gonna know until you make that call. So give us a call, let's get connected, and that way we can explore it together. Next up, the Moonstone floor plan. This is one of Richmond's most popular 2-story floor plans, actually. It's been offered at quite a few communities. I personally have sold a lot of them. And I think after this walkthrough, you're gonna find out why so many people really like the Moonstone and why it's such a popular floor plan. So right in off of the front door, we've got this office area. Again, so much functionality. I'm a big supporter of thinking long-term in terms of floor plan functionality, because let's face it, the main reason in my experience why I get the call from someone who says, hey Rich, we bought this house 2 years ago, we need to sell it. And it's not, that wasn't their plan in the beginning. It's because they overlooked one of two things, either location or they overlooked floor plan functionality. And so it's easy to get ahead of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love taking calls from you guys who bought a house and you're trusting me to sell it. But the reality is that that wasn't the game plan. Then I think a conversation up front and some guidance can help ensure that you don't have to make that call. So talking about functionality of floor plan, this space can be used for all sorts of different things. A very flexible space, if you will. Could be a study, could be another bedroom. You could easily close that in, put a closet there, and this could be another bedroom. Could be a yoga studio, reading room, arts and crafts room. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Half bathroom here. We do have 9-foot ceilings in this 2-story, 8-foot doors. Go figure, it's what we've seen this whole time. Richmond includes that in all of their homes. And we've got gray cabinets. Gray cabinets, white countertops, a little bit of a blue textured backsplash. This is kind of an interesting kitchen. I think that's blue. Yeah, it looks kind of blue to me. If my wife were here, she'd be arguing with me that that's somehow gray or even green, but you know, I'm just giving you the inside scoop on what me and my wife like to discuss. It's usually a disagreement about color. If we're disagreeing, it's a disagreement about color, the color of something. Actually, funny quick story. On one of our very first dates together, we had our first disagreement, if you will, and it was about the color of the mustard seed that we were dipping our pretzels in, our pretzel appetizer. I thought it was more green. She thought it was more yellow. The jury's still out. We even had to recruit people walking by on the street because we were at this fun bar by the University of Arizona. And I think I recruited like 3 or 4 people to take a poll of whether they thought it was more green or whether they thought it was more yellow. And I'm not gonna tell you the results of that. So we'll leave it there. How about that? We'll leave it there. So interesting kitchen. It's got a good layout. It's functional. Dining space, very accommodating for 6 people. Lots of natural light in this room. Pretty big living area. I love that they've got the built-in fireplace kind of popped out with that stacked stone look. It's actually tile, I think. Is that stacked stone or tile? Nope, that's tile. And it looks cool. I am a fan of black accents against light colored walls. So this for me is thumbs up. That's a thumbs up. Let me know if you think that's a thumbs up as well. So one thing to point out is 2-story floor plans may not be for everyone. However, there's pros and cons with everything. And one of the pros and cons of a 2-story versus a single story, especially when we're talking about production builders, is the backyard. This backyard is almost twice the size. Let's go take a peek out here real quick so that I can give you some perspective. But this backyard is huge compared to the copper that we just toured. Copper backyard, Moonstone backyard, copper backyard, Moonstone backyard. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it again, but you get the point. This backyard is much bigger because the 2-story floor plan takes up a much smaller footprint. and you get a bigger backyard. So if backyard's important to you, maybe a really functional 2-story would be exactly what you need. And because of that, dang, looks like the wind ripped through here pretty good, huh? See, whoever says we don't get wind in the desert, they're crazy. This floor plan being one of the more popular 2-story floor plans that Richmond offers, it's one to pay attention to. We do have a little stop and drop off of the garage area here, which is nice. Now let's head upstairs and stay tuned because we very soon are going to be talking about the incentives. I'm going to be breaking down the incentives that Richmond's currently offering here. And I'm going to be breaking down the one thing that Richmond American does that I think is the best thing you're going to get close to a guarantee of protecting your resale value down the road. So stay tuned because you're definitely going to want to pay attention to that. Let's go upstairs, take a peek at what the Moonstone has in store up here. I like that the banister is open, pretty modern, white style, big loft, lots of natural light. I wonder what type of views we have from up here. 2-story house in Gladden. You pretty much have an entire view of the Tortolita Mountains. It's actually wild. You can probably see that this little patch right there at the tip of my finger. See a little bit of a dirt patch out there? That's Dove Mountain. And it's probably, I don't know how many miles away, but that's all Dove Mountain at the base of the Tortolita Mountains. There. So cool loft area. Lots of natural light. You can see quite a bit of the surrounding landscape. It feels ample size up here. Now for my, oh, that's 8 feet right there. Look at, boom, just barely touch if I extend all the way. Yeah, so we got 8-foot ceilings up top. Couple bedrooms and a bathroom here. Whole bunch of stuff over there. Where should we start? We should probably start by getting that fire alarm battery replaced. What do you think? Let's look at the guest bathroom. Dual vanity. Kind of an interesting tile. Almost like a, what do they call that? Herringbone? Maybe a delta. Not sure exactly what that design's called, but bedroom here. Man, this is a huge bedroom. Huge bedroom. Full-size bed, but no joke, you could easily fit a king-size bed in here. Would have slightly smaller nightstands, but you could easily fit a king-size bed in this guest bedroom. This might even be a queen, to be honest with you. This room might be that big that it's making it look like a full. No, it's a full. I know because when I imagine myself laying on one side and my wife on the other side, that's, if you've ever slept 2 full-grown people on a full, you never forget it. It's one of those things. You just never forget it, especially if you're used to a king-size bed. All right, another good sized bedroom, or yeah, not as big as the last bedroom that we saw. Oh, that's cool. For any of you F1 fans, I'm assuming that's what that is. They're all racetracks. All Ricard, Marina Bay, Suzuka. I'm pretty sure those are F1 Grand Prix tracks, but if you know and I'm wrong, then correct me. So that way I'm educated. Throw that in the comments. Yeah, so not quite as big, but you do have a walk-in closet, which is nice. Do have a walk-in closet. You got just a standard bypass door closet there. Let's take a peek. So we do have laundry room upstairs. Big laundry room. Just got shocked from that switch. So that happens every once in a while. Good sized laundry room up here. Got the same gray cabinets that kind of carry through as well. And we are into the primary suite. You know what? We're going to save that. We're going to save that. We're going to finish this up. We're going to finish the guest bedroom area up. What do we have here? Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this is some sort of a room. I don't know. I don't know exactly what this is. It's like it's supposed to be a closet or okay, maybe a escape room. No, it's not. It's like it's got to be like a walk-in closet, upstairs coat closet or something. They just haven't yet outfitted with all of the shelves. But that is strange. I don't usually see that when I'm walking through new builds. Here is the final guest bedroom upstairs. I mean, these are good sized bedrooms. This is 2,630 square feet. One of their bigger floor plans. 2 stories, so you get a big house with a big backyard because it is a 2-story. And I'm just very much talking out loud. I like it. 2 stories are, when I was young, I always wanted to live in a 2-story because having stairs seemed like a lot of fun to do fun stuff off of. And as an adult, I still like 2 stories. I wouldn't be opposed to it. So a look at the primary suite, and we've identified which one it is. It's that one. That's the one that's chirping. I'll let Hattie know so that she can get the construction team on it. Ooh. Well, looky there. Don't mind if I do. You guys already know. I'm a fan of the black. So this is cool. This is like got like gold and white kind of natural colors to it. I like that. I hadn't seen that before. Got the hexagon tile floor to match. It actually does match with white and gold in there. Very subtle with the gold, but classy. Good size bathroom, dual vanity. Let's take a look at this closet. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Wow. Okay. So this is much bigger than I thought. Seriously, this is as big as most bedrooms. So bedrooms in this house, most of them are the size of normal primary bedrooms. And the walk-in closet in the primary bedroom is the size of most bedrooms. So that's nice. Again, if you're looking for value, if you're looking for something that makes you really feel like you're getting warm and fuzzies, I think Richmond's kind of nailing it out here in Gladden Farms. Let me know which of these 3 models you think are the coolest and would maybe suit your situation the most. If there's any questions in particular about pricing or anything like that, drop it in the comments because prices are changing all the time. We are going to talk about incentives, and we're going to talk about what Richmond does as a builder that I think most buyers really appreciate when they go to turn around and sell their house. So let's talk about that. All right, so let's chat a little bit. First off, I promised incentives. Let's talk about this. Now, Richmond, I want to just make sure I'm putting adequate highlight on the fact that Richmond caters to a specific type of buyer. And when you buy a new build, much like when you buy anything, you've got lots of options. And I think the best way to sort through those options for anything is really to understand the philosophy of each thing And because once you understand the philosophy, you're gonna understand a little bit of more who they cater to. And I've been working in the builder community for over 15 years here locally in Tucson. And I've sold a lot of Richmond American homes. I've also sold a lot of Lennar homes and KB homes and DR Horton homes and Meritage homes and you name it. So I've had an opportunity to really get well acquainted with each builder, their process, their product. And that way I can speak, honestly and give you my perspective from that. So Richmond American has really hung their hat on quality and value. And that has been a long-standing thing to their business model when they were building exclusively new builds from the ground up versus spec homes like they are now. I think because the environment post-COVID, so many builders were struggling to keep up with the amount of demand, like Richmond American, they had to adopt a new building strategy in order to survive. And so they did. They made a pivot. They pivoted over to building spec homes, but they still left that charm that they've been known for, that philosophy that's at the core of who they are as a builder. And that is value forward. That is 42-inch upper cabinets, 8-foot doors, 9-foot ceilings. A lot of the features that are considered upgrades for other builders and therefore not opted for often when they're speccing out their builds are included. And this sliding glass door, how many of these models have included this big center meat sliding door? I'll answer that question. It's all of them. All of these floor plans and models that we've looked at here today have included that. So I think the best way to look at Richmond is they are really focused on satisfying the buyer who wants more of a custom home or semi-custom home feel, but they want the ease and value and price of something that is a production style build. Simply put, they want to, the buyer wants to feel like they're getting more value than what they're paying for. And I think that Richmond American does an incredible job of doing that. One of the ways that they're able to do that is by offering this incentive. The incentive right now at this location, and remember, this changes all the time. And this is only what the builder is offering right now up front to any buyer. If you want the real deal, if you want something, if you want to know what they're actually offering on top of that, well, that's where you're going to need to save my contact information and reach out to us, because we are the people who are actually negotiating deals from the builder over and above what the builder is offering on the front end to everybody. Right now, their financing incentive, which is pretty incredible, is 4.5% on a 30-year fixed FHA or VA loan. Now, on a conventional loan, they're offering 4.875. So it jumps up 3.75%. If you're not a numbers person, you're probably like, what the heck does this even mean, Rich? Let me put it very simply. At that 4.5%, let's call it 4.5%. Based on that 4.5% Richmond house here versus any other home that is at a normal market rate, say 6.875, that's going to be almost $100,000 difference in the amount of house you can buy for how much your payment is. Let me approach this a different way. For anyone who's not a numbers person, you could either buy this house with Richmond with all of the upgrades for $500,000 and have your payment the exact same as if you were to buy a house priced $100,000 lower at $400,000 without all of the upgrades. So simply, you get all of the upgrades, all of the value, and you get the sense of my monthly payment is the same as if I bought something $100,000 lower. That's significant. These features, when you're living in a house, make a big difference. And when you're talking about resale, let's dive into the second piece of the conversation that I think is really critical. From a resale perspective, the features of a home are really what sell it. When you hire a listing agent and they're creating a marketing game plan and strategy and property description and speaking with buyers about your house to sell it, there's specific things they want to highlight. But if your home has no upgrades, if it has nothing to differentiate it, how are you possibly going to be seen? Because a lot of these homes have so many features, they're going to be able to have more of an impact in terms of marketing, property description, and marketability when you go to resale the home. And those are the homes that fetch top dollar in any given market. Those are the homes in the resale world that create multiple offers, that sell above asking price. Those are the homes that buyers are ready and willing to compete for. So that is my tip. And one of the things that I think Richmond really nails when it comes to resale value. Is that by design? I don't know, but I have seen the byproduct of that. Looking down the line, a seller or a person that I've helped them buy their Richmond American house, and then they call me 6-8 years down the road and they end up selling, and we can literally quantify how much more their home was able to sell for with the added features because they had more of an upgraded house versus other homes in the neighborhood that weren't as upgraded, were a little bit more plain Jane and basic. So the decision's up to you. Would you prefer a payment that's going to get you less house, less value, less features? Or would you prefer paying a little bit more for a house, but keeping your payment the exact same and benefiting from all of the features, enjoying that house long-term, and ultimately, when you do end up selling it, having the highest likelihood of attracting the highest paying buyers? You get to choose. Which one are you choosing? Put it in the comments and let me know. If you're considering a move to Marana, Northwest Tucson, or Gladden Farms, and specifically Parkside, let's get connected. Grab my contact information. Whether you're moving today or a year from today, you can call, text, email, or schedule a free Zoom consult. We can talk just like this. We can dive in, get connected, and I can explore what options are in front of you and provide some insight. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button. It supports us, supports the channel, and shows us that we're creating content that you enjoy, which is really the whole point of all of this. And until next time, thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.